Todd, it's so great to have the opportunity to talk to you today. First of all, you were saying, we've been all home now for almost a year. You have a 2.5-year-old. I mean, you're a guy who's used to being on the road and working all the time, and now, boom, you're home with the family. How has that been?
It's been great, actually. I mean, my wife's an actor as well, and we're both always, every day is different, and we're constantly moving around and on the go. But we love being at home. And as much as this last year has been terrible in a lot of ways, the one silver lining, I think, is that I've got to, be at home and watch my son have this year of his life where the three of us just get to spend a lot of time together. So it's, that part's been relatively nice,
Yeah, there's always a silver lining, right?
Yeah. If you look for it, sure.
Absolutely. However you want to look at it, for sure. Well, This movie is seriously a lot of fun to watch. I love these kinds of films because, you just never know what lurks, what's going to happen. So with this one, before we start talking about it, I want to ask you, because you've been in so many great things and, and different types of roles, whether it's One Day at a Time or other films or other things that you've done. What was it about this one when you read it and you went, yeah, I got to do it?
Well, it was a great script and a great cast, and it just seemed like it was going to be a lot of fun. And we shot in Malibu in the summertime, so how do you say no to that? Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I love these kind of movies. I love these thrillers, and I had never done one before, so that's part of the fun of being an actor. We get to do a lot of different things and try on different hats and different experiences. So it was just like a new experience for me and super fun.
For sure. Yeah, I can imagine it was fun. I mean, there's some tense stuff, obviously, but when you're offset,
you
have to have fun with this kind of stuff. Now, there's a lot of things going on, but one thing for me that is a huge nightmare is a renovation.
Yes. Yes, that's for sure. I mean, we've done it. We just got through one a couple of years ago. And so, going to this movie, we had just finished our own home renovation. So I knew I knew how to play this guy in terms of that part of the story.
Right. Very method.
This is a different nightmare of a home renovation, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so for people who have, obviously, I want you to set it up for us. I've seen it, but I want you to kind of set up the storyline for us.
Sure. Well, a well-meaning couple inherits a dilapidated, rundown house in Malibu from Knox's mom, from my mom. And they moved to Malibu with the hopes of renovating it and flipping it and making a bunch of money to start a new life and a new family and go on their merry way. But there are some things in their past that catch up with them, and there's an uninvited, unwanted guest they find living under the house who does not want them to succeed in this dream. Yeah. And then the rest unfold when you watch it.
Exactly. Okay. So first off, let's talk about working with these lovely ladies. Let's start off with Amina Savari, who plays your wife. She's always so great. What was it like to work with her?
So great. Amazing. Both Kristen and Amina are they're such incredible actors, and they're so present and they're so committed that it just made everything I had to do easier and made me a better actor, really. And we just had a ton of fun in between shots and just goofing around. And there were times when we're on the beach or we're stuck under this weird house on the beach, and in cramped quarters and stuff. And it was just so fun to hang out with them. And they're both incredibly smart too. So I actually learned a lot about it. They're both vegan. I just learned a lot of cool things about stuff that I'm not a part of before this. So I mean, they almost got me to convert to being a vegan. I'm very
I'm a carnivore, can't change me. Well, were both of you ladies vegans? Are they both vegans?
Yes, they're both big animal rights activists. They're both vegan. Which I'm not those things. I mean, I'm into animal rights, but I'm not vegan. And so I learned a lot about that stuff while we were working.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not only do you get a good role, but you learn something from it as well.
Right. Exactly. It made two awesome new friends. So, you know, it was great. It was really fun for me. Big win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I was going to say, Kristen, I mean, wow, she's off the charts as this character, this homeless woman.
Okay.
You know, really, like, I'm hoping that I have the opportunity to talk to her sometime next week, because, like, where do you go in your mind to play somebody like that? You know, like the three
I
of
know.
you,
I
what
know.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, she was so committed to that character. It was really shocking at times in scenes where I was, you know, we'd be in a scene together and I would almost just, we'd have to do another take because I just got lost watching her performance. She's fantastic. I think it's really fun to lose yourself in a big character like that. You know, sometimes it's easier, not easier, but sometimes it's more fun to just kind of go 100% in the opposite direction of who you are and just become a different human being for a character, which is, you know, sometimes playing something that's kind of close to yourself but just a little bit different is a tough line to walk. But she really dove in and just had so much fun and went for it. You know, it was great. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's a crazy character, but like I said, it's always fun to play the bad guy. You know, why not, right?
Yeah, totally. Because
Yeah.
she's also the nicest person, and so, you know, sometimes it's fun to let that stuff come out, you know, and play. I mean, I can't speak for her, but
Yeah.
in terms of me, at least for Knox, you know, there was a kind of a dark element to
Yes.
Knox that obviously, you know, he gets pushed to the brink and some things come out throughout the movie, and it's fun to play that stuff. You
Yeah.
know, play these things that you are
Absolutely.
polar opposite of you know.
Yeah. I want to ask you about, like, when you're choosing your roles and stuff, because you know, you had a good run on One Day at a Time, the revival of
Yeah.
that. And what I want to ask about that is, the thing about that show, it was canceled, and then of course the fans, like, what an uproar, and brought it back. You know, what does that mean to you as an actor, just on a personal level, to know that there's people out there who just truly won't give up? They want their show back.
Yeah, it was I mean, it was so surreal because the fans really did save that show. And we were so heartbroken when it got canceled. And then, you know, 2 days later to find out that others, you know, like, because of all this fan support, we might actually continue this show. It was just like, never been a part of anything that has happened like that. And it's just, I mean, it's just, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It makes you emotional, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really honored that I got to be a part of that show. I've always wanted to make TV that, you know, represented the or underrepresented, and started conversations and talked about important things a lot, you know, just like all of Norman Lear's shows have in the past. And so just to get to be a part of that was a huge dream come true, and kind of set the tone for what I want to continue to do as I, you know, develop other projects and shows and things like that. So, you know, but yeah, I'm eternally grateful to the fans. I mean, they gave us life for 4 years, and that's the only reason I kept going.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the original one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up watching all the reruns, so I was like, I knew the whole thing. I mean, I'd seen every episode, which made it tough when we started the show, because I was like, I don't want to, you know, I was the only character that was brought back in name.
Yes.
Really. And so, you know, there was a little, obviously a major retooling of the character Schneider. We didn't want to replicate the original Schneider in any way.
Of course.
Because he was too, but yeah, you know, just, we had little sort of memorabilia scattered throughout the set. I don't know if people ever knew that, but we have little keepsakes, because we had people who had worked on the original show also worked on this show, including Norman. And so we had keepsakes from Bonnie and from Pat Harrington Jr. I think we had his cufflinks hidden somewhere on the set. I actually never even knew where they were hidden. Yeah.
That just gave me chills. Wow, that's so
right?
cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And a vase that Bonnie had is in the set. Is seen in almost every shot, I think. So, you know, we really kept, like,
Yeah.
physically and just spiritually, we kept the DNA of the show there as much as possible. And I think that came through in the writing and the spirit of everything we were trying to do.
Listen, Norman Lear, I mean, the man is going to be honored coming up at the Golden Globes, like well-deserved. First off, I can't even believe that he's, you know, at the age that he is and that he's still creating TV, and he's still, you know, last year at the Critics' Choice Awards, I was there and I saw him sitting over at one of the tables and I went, oh, really? Oh yeah. And I go, I'll be damned if I'm not going to go over there and say hello, because that man made, I mean, I'm a TV holic and I really have grown up with all of his shows. And I, you know, I just went over and I said, I'm part of the Critics' Choice and I just want to introduce myself, but I just want to say thank you for everything. And I'll never forget the memories of my dad sitting in his chair, laughing his head off at all of the family. Yeah. And I told him this and he just, you know, he just got up and gave me this big hug and he went, thank you. And I just went, you've seriously just made it for me. I'm done. Like, honestly, to work with a man like that, Todd, like, I know, so jealous. I know. Well, thank you. I mean, I'm I mean, since day one that we started working on the show, every day I go, what am I going to do after this? Like, what am I going to do after I've worked with Norman Lear? Yeah. How do you know, where do you go from here? I don't know, you know, but yeah, he's just such a great guy. He's become a really close friend, and that's amazing. I love that man. And it doesn't surprise me that he got up and just hugged you. Yeah. Because that's who he is, you know, he's just all love. Well, it's that generation too, you know, like the Mel Brooks and sadly that we lost Carl Reiner, but you look at Betty White and all of these, they're all going in their 90s, strong, like still got it upstairs. Like, it is amazing. See, comedy makes you live longer. Laughter keeps you alive. Yeah. The laughter keeps you alive. And I also think that it's something about constantly trying to come up with bits in your head. Right. I have this theory that because they're constantly, you know, they're comedians, they're constantly trying to come up with bits. I think it keeps you really sharp, but I think it keeps the mind alive, you know? So, but you know, these are all people, they're all people who are real people. Yeah. Norman needs to be around people. He's incredibly social and feeds off of learning and being around, you know, what's happening that's new. And I want to learn from that person. And in his 90s, still amazing, going, okay, what's the new trend? I want to learn about that. You know, it's incredible. Yeah, good on him. Good on him. So I know obviously COVID, you haven't been working, but people are starting to get back into, you know, do you have something else coming up after this one? Well, I'm developing a couple shows right now. One to star in and the other one would be producing. And then there's a couple other projects and a couple films. So I'm working on that. That's what I've been working on during the pandemic a lot. And then I also have a granola bar company. I don't know if anybody is aware of this, but I have a granola bar company. Well, it's really a food company. It started with a few other actors, Ryan Devlin and Ravi Patel and Kristen Bell. It's called This Saves Lives. And for every product that we sell, we give a packet of life-saving food to a child suffering from malnutrition somewhere in the world. So it's a one, and we sell all sorts of stuff like crispy treats and kids bars and granola bars for adults. And we're coming out with oatmeal and granola. And so we're really working hard to put a dent, really end childhood malnutrition. That's our goal. Absolutely. It's a lofty goal, but that's the plan. And it's especially important right now during COVID because kids around the world are hit even harder. So I'm working on that a lot too. Wow, good for you. Is there a website that I can link to in my piece so that, you know, if we yes, thissaveslives.com. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Everything we're doing. Wonderful. That's great. Well, listen, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today, and best of luck with Paradise Cove and everything else. And you know, and just hug your son. That's the most important thing. Thank you. Yes, I know. Everybody hug your kids and your parents. And your parents. And keep everybody. Yeah. Well, stay safe and thank you so much. This is so fun today. Yeah, you too, Todd. Take care, and hopefully, you know, when this is all over, you'll come visit us in Toronto in person. Okay. I would love it. My wife's there right now. Oh, working on something? Yeah, she's working on a Netflix movie right now. But she's been there for almost a month. So, and we're very jealous. I love Toronto. I can't wait to come back. Yeah, we'll come in the summer when it's nicer for sure. She's probably freezing her ass off, I'm sure. She's a little cold. It's a little nippy. Yeah. It is. Thank you so much, Todd. I really appreciate your time. Of course. Okay, bye-bye.
Likewise.
Okay,
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.